Hey friends, Ash here with Gents. Hope you're all doing really well. Today I'm coming at you guys with a tag video from Cam at Carolina Fragrance Reviews. There's a link in the description to his channel. Make sure to check it out, please. He is a good friend of mine, great guy. It's 7 cheap fall fragrances under 35 bucks, so it is a cheapy list for you guys today. Some affordable fragrances. I priced out each one of these at discounters online. So FragranceNet, FragranceX, you know the drill. Let's jump into it. And yeah, there's a steady drone of rain out here today, but I still wanted to shoot outdoors, so hopefully it's not too bad for you guys. Apologies for the rain. Can't really do too much about that. So each one of these bottles is at least 50 milliliters in size. Like I said, from FragranceX or FragranceNet, I'll let you guys know where I priced these out at. Also leave a link in the description with whatever code is 35% off at FragranceNet, because that's what I used. And if you're watching this in the future, that code's probably different. They change it every so often, so sorry. First fragrance runs $32.29 for 50 milliliters. That's from FragranceX, and it is from the house of Guerlain, L'instant de Guerlain pour Ombre, the Eau de Toilette, what used to be known as Lidge, without the E, L'instant de Guerlain. That makes sense if you've been around for a while. If you haven't, then that probably makes no sense at all. Anyway, L'instant de Guerlain, the Eau de Toilette. There is also an Eau de Parfum, but the EDT is cheaper, so that's how it makes this list. The fragrance has cacao, it's got patchouli, it's got star anise. It's a really, really high class sort of fragrance. One that you can very easily wear formally, but it's not so heavy or so sophisticated that it's impossible to wear casually. So it's got a lot of versatility to it. There's also a little bit of lemon in there, so you've got some citrus freshness off the top. That's not the focus of the fragrance, but you do get a decent amount of that lemon in there. Really, really nice fragrance. One of the better bang for your buck fragrances that you're ever gonna find. Up next, a fragrance for the price of $29.27, again from FragranceX, Baldy Cerini Ombre. And this one is sort of kind of a little bit of a hidden gem in the sense that it doesn't get talked about heavily. Now, it's not completely unknown. People have talked about it online. People have made YouTube videos about it, but it is a really nice scent that most people are not going to be wearing. It's got a whiskey vibe off the top mixing with red apple, kind of an oak cask thing going on as well, kind of tying in again with that whiskey from the top. When it dries down, it's mainly amber mixed with leather, a little bit of vanilla in there as well. The fragrance with those notes, you know, whiskey and leather and amber, you might think it's gonna be super heavy and very dense, but it's actually not. Performance on it might even be a little bit below average, but the fragrance itself is really good, especially when you consider the price you can pick it up for. The next one is from FragranceNet. It's $28.59 for a 50 ml size bottle. And again, all these prices are as of when I'm shooting the video, so this could and will change in the future. But anyway, the fragrance, Dolce Gabbana is the one, Eau de Toilette. I would go with the Eau de Parfum as the overall better fragrance nowadays, but the Eau de Toilette, kind of like with the Guerlain, cheaper than the Eau de Parfum, so that's why it's on this list. Amber, tobacco, ginger, cardamom, grapefruit, some of the notes in the fragrance. Big, big compliment puller, great date night fragrance, great evening fragrance in general for fall time. The performance, not the best, not the best. That is not necessarily a drawback though. As I've talked about on this channel, as other people have talked about, if you're wearing a date night fragrance, you probably don't want it to be super loud because you don't want it to overwhelm your date. And in that sense, the one Eau de Toilette does a really nice job. It is one of the most popular designer fragrances of the past couple of decades, and for good reason. People love it, very appealing, very easy to wear. The one Eau de Toilette. Next fragrance, $31.19. That's the cost, $31.19 for a 50 ml size bottle from FragranceNet. It is 212 VIP Men from Carolina Herrera. Now, if the last couple fragrances did not really have great performance, this one does. This one lasts for a long time, projects very well, and that's why a lot of people will consider this fragrance a big club scent, a big bar scent. You know, if you're going out with a lot of people and you want to be heard or smelled by all the people around you, this one can do that for you. It has passion fruit, mint, caviar lime, spices, and vodka as some of the notes in the fragrance. So it's kind of an interesting mixture there, if you want to call it that. You don't very often see vodka as a note in fragrances, and really, I mean, vodka doesn't have too much of a smell typically, other than smelling like alcohol, so that's probably why you don't see it super often. But in this fragrance, everything works together really well, and thankfully it does not smell like just straight up alcohol. Because if you want to smell like an alcoholic, there are other things you could do, like just dump alcohol on yourself or drink heavily. But I don't suggest doing that. Don't do it. So this one has a really nice fruity punch to it. Passion fruit, caviar lime kind of leading the charge there. Nice spiciness as well, little bits of mint. The fragrance itself, a big attention grabber, big compliment puller. Does not get worn as heavily as a lot of other club bangers do. So in that sense, it would be a nice one to have, because you can kind of have that scent that's going to command attention, that's going to be loud, that's going to last, that's going to project, but it's not going to smell the exact same as what most other people are going to be wearing. The next one costs $34.44 for a 2.3 ounce bottle, kind of a random size, from Fragrance Net, Michael Kors for Men. And this one you can sometimes find at TJ Maxx or Ross stores or Marshalls in America. It's kind of hit or miss, but it's not too terribly expensive online either. This fragrance also has another fragrance by the same name, Michael Kors for Men, with the same bottle and slightly different font on the front. So be aware of that. The one I'm talking about today is the newer release. As incense, suede, star anise, patchouli, and elemi is some of the notes in the fragrance. The previous version of Michael Kors for Men was known as being a really nice tobacco scent with dried fruits. This one does not have that note here, the dried fruits or the tobacco, but it does still have kind of a tobacco feel to it when you smell it. This Michael Kors fragrance is another one that I think is overlooked. It's very nice for fall, really, really nice. One that you can wear to the office, casually or formally, or to business meetings. It's got a lot of versatility, really, 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 really nice. Don't be off-put by the incense or anything like that. It's not too smoky, it's not a smoke bomb or anything like that. Just really nice, slightly sweet, kind of tobacco-y, leathery, great scent. Now this next one I'm cheating on. It's $35.74 for 100 ml from Fragrance Net, but it's 74 cents, so I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna add it in here. Bentley Absolute. And I will give you one extra at the end of the video, so technically I still gave you 7 under $35. Cool? Cool. Olibanum, cedar, papyrus, and oud, some of the notes in this fragrance. Like most of the Bentley for Men line, really, really nice quality for what you're paying. You get way more than 35 bucks worth fragrance wise. This one gets compared to Gucci Pour Homme, the original, the discontinued, the great Gucci Pour Homme, and it does have a pretty strong similarity to that scent. Now, if I could take only one, I would take the Gucci, but for the price, nowadays, 99% of you out there are gonna be better suited getting the Bentley instead of the Gucci. This one, for me, a little bit better suited for when it starts to get cold or cool outside. So once you start getting close to that tail end of fall, you know, when the leaves are all falling, you've got that briskness in the air, that's when this one is really gonna work very well. It's classy, it does have kind of a mysterious edge to it, and it's a great evening scent or formal scent. The next one is $26.64 for a 100 ml size bottle from Fragrance Net. And this one is one that has grown on me over the years. It's L'Insoumis by Lalique. Now this one does have a flanker, L'Insoumis Ma Force, and I don't really care for that one too much. I think it's not that great, but this one, really solid. It has clary sage, rum, lavender, and woods, along with basil, some of the notes in the fragrance. It's fresher than you might expect. It's woody, it's green. At times it's a little bit dry. There's some sweetness in there from the rum. It doesn't come across like a really boozy rum, so it's not hyper boozy, but there is some sweetness in there, and that's coming from the rum. Now with accords like rum and whiskey and cognac and things like that, perfumers can't take cognac or rum and just drop it into a fragrance and go like, cool, we added rum. That's not how it works. So they have to kind of build an accord up to simulate whatever liquor they're going for. So the perfumer, if they're making cognac or rum, will kind of dig down and they'll have these fruits or sugary sort of accords that they've put together and made the rum accord or the cognac accord or the whiskey accord or whatever it is they're going for. So when you smell this and you get a little bit of sweetness, that's the rum. It might not necessarily smell like rum, but the sweet facets in this fragrance, of which there aren't a ton, but the sweet facets in the fragrance are coming from that rum accord and the things that have been used to build it, even if it doesn't smell actually like booze. And the last fragrance, which I think is the cheapest on the list, $24.69 for a 4.2 ounce bottle. In terms of how much you're paying versus the size you get, definitely the cheapest from FragranceNet. Halloween Man X. Yes, Halloween Man X yet again. Coffee, tonka, whiskey, cinnamon, leather, some of the notes in the fragrance. The blackjack accord that I've talked about a million times, the main thing in the fragrance, which is an accord consisting of the roast coffee, the whiskey, and the leather. I guess the masculine notes in the fragrance. The coffee going to be one of the main things you get here, and it's a roast coffee, so it's got kind of that burnt edge to the note a little bit, but it smells really nice. This one of my absolute favorite cheapie finds over the past couple years, easily. Halloween Man X, gonna wrap this list up. It's fantastic for fall time. I mean, it's got Halloween in the name. How can you go wrong? Now, super quickly, just some other cheap fragrances that maybe you want to check out that are under 35 bucks. Mont Blanc Legend. It's kind of like Abercrombie and Fitch Fierce, but more affordable. You want to be just super simple in terms of the breakdown, I mean. Salvatore Ferragamo Uomo, really nice tiramisu note, some ambroxan in there as well. Big compliment puller, easy to wear. Varvatos Vintage or Varvatos Dark Rebel Rider, both of those very high quality fall fragrances, don't cost all that much money. Performance maybe not the best, but still good. And then lastly, Quorum Silver. Yeah, this one costs next to nothing. It's got cedar, it's got ginger in there. Really nice fragrance, maybe more suited for people middle-aged and up. And with that, I want to wrap this video up. So again, shout out to Cam, Carolina Fragrance Reviews. Thanks so much for tagging me. I'm not sure who else has done this video at this point, so anyone watching this, if you have a YouTube channel, consider yourself tagged. We're all tagged. Go ahead and make it. And again, link in the description to Cam's channel. I'm gonna get out of here before this rain picks up even more and blows me away. Thanks guys for watching. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with another fragrance video. Thank you so much for all your support. You guys rock.